Are we going to get into an argument not only of sexism between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, but Donald Trump attacking Bill Clinton?
Well, I tell you what, we're going to let my wife Jane out, and I think Hillary is going to be in real trouble.
We're back with presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders, and joining the table, his wife Jane. Uh-oh, here we go. I'm reading your story. You have an incredible story, which really, and you guys met when you were elected mayor of Burlington.
Burlington, yeah.
Back 30 years ago.
81, yeah.
What was it that struck you? Or were you just in a good mood that night?
Pretty good mood.
Well, what struck me is she was involved in working with low-income people in the city of Burlington, and very involved with children. She had been a foster parent. How many foster kids did you have?
13.
13,
Over
not to
time.
mention her own 3 kids. And she got me thinking a whole lot about the needs of children and youth, and she became head of our youth office, did a fantastic job, and we got married.
Yeah, he started a newspaper, a teen center, after-school programs, a daycare, a festival called Kids Day. It goes on. Bank teller, cashier, everything. You've lived in America.
So let me ask you this. So I've known this guy, obviously not like you've known this guy, but I see him on TV, and he looks like Bono in U2. I'm like, wait a second, I used to know him. What's it like for you to see not only the thousands and thousands of people coming out to see him speak, but also these numbers, so many people believing in that they're writing $27 on average checks? It's got to be surreal, right?
It is. It's amazing. I mean, I think, you know, I've always believed in him, and he's always held out a vision that appealed to the best in people. And in Burlington, I mean, he brought people out. He doubled voter turnout. He made a difference in people's lives. But to see the message that he can accomplish this, that he does approach things differently and really cares about bringing people into the process, to have it be understood and by such a wide margin of people has been really exhilarating and surprising.
Nice.
Bernie, we mentioned as we went to break Hillary Clinton and your relationship with her right now in the race. I wonder what it's like for you to hear people say that she's the presumptive nominee, that she's the front runner, that she's the likely next president of the United States. You hear even, Donald Trump or Chris Christie yesterday say, if we nominate Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton's going to be president. What's it like for you to hear that?
Well, it's kind of amusing. I think throughout my political career, Willie, people have underestimated me. Nobody believes I would have been elected mayor of the city of Burlington. Nobody believed I would have been elected to the United States Congress. To get elected to the Senate, I had to defeat the wealthiest guy in the state of Vermont. So I would say to people, don't underestimate the message that we're bringing forth to the American people and the desire of the American people to see real change in this country and to see leadership that stands up to the billionaire class.
And I would also add that he won by 10 votes for the mayoralty, and if 10 people stayed home, we wouldn't be here today. So not only don't underestimate him, but don't underestimate the importance of you participating.
Yeah. So before we get to Mark Halperin, Hillary Clinton was on the trail yesterday touting her experience. Let's take a listen to that.
Now let me ask you all to think hard about this job that you're interviewing for. Think hard about the people who are presenting themselves to you, their experience, their qualifications, their positions, and particularly for those of us who are Democrats, their electability, and how we make sure we have a Democrat going back into that White House on January 20th, 2017. I have a long record, and I have been on the forefront of change for decades. I'm a progressive who likes to get things done, and I will get into that White House. I don't need a tour. I know right where the Oval Office is. I know right how to get things done, and I will get to work and get fighting for you. Thank you.
So, what's her message?
Well, I think her message is not an accurate one. The message is that Hillary Clinton is the most electable Democrat. I would just refer you to a recent Quinnipiac poll, which had us beating Donald Trump by almost twice the margin that she was beating Trump. And that's Other polls have shown similar type findings. That's number one. Number two, Democrats win elections when voter turnout is high. Republicans win when voter turnout is low. I think any objective person would assess that the new energy in this campaign from young people, from working class people, is with our campaign, not Secretary Clinton's campaign.
So what do you think when you hear her say that she's been fighting for progressive causes for all of these years, when we've seen her flip-flop on Keystone, we've seen her flip-flop on same-sex marriage, we've seen her flip-flop on financial reform, we've seen her flip-flop on trade, we've seen her flip-flop, and this is just in the past year or two. No, and by the way, I'm not being ugly. I'm just telling the truth. What are your thoughts when she's putting herself out as a long-standing progressive champion?
Except when she defines herself, as she did a few months ago, as a moderate. You can't be a moderate, you can't be a progressive, you can't be for the TPP and against the TPP, for the Keystone Pipeline, against the Keystone Pipeline. You know, I have been fairly consistent my entire political life. Some people say I'm kind of boring because I've been saying the same thing for 30 years.
Not at all.
Okay.
All right, but I think the evidence is pretty clear on issue after issue, whether it's taking on Wall Street, whether it's fighting for health care for all people, whether it is trade policy, whether it is environmental policy. I have been a leader. I think what we have seen over the years, as you've indicated, in many ways, Secretary Clinton has been flip-flopping.
Okay.
I also think that when she says I'm a progressive that likes to get things done, she's actually minimizing the message, saying, well, we can only do this much, and Bernie says we can do that much. What people don't understand is that's what he's always done. He's laid out a vision that was a lot more progressive and a lot more bold than people thought could be accomplished, and then he's accomplished it. As mayor, as congressman, as senator, he did the only major bill last year in the veterans bill. And the other thing that people don't understand is he's always played the inside-outside game, so that instead of just working inside the system and talking to the people in power, he brings the other people in, like the Social Security changed CPI. Remember when they were going to cut the cost of living increases? He fought inside, but then he rallied all the people and all the organizations outside, and they beat them. They beat it back 1 year. The second year they brought it back. It only barely was talked about, and then it was let go. The third year, it's nowhere. Nobody's talking about it anymore.
So you just sit back and relax.
Really?
She's got to sit back and just chill out.
Let's bring in
Mark
right
Halperin.
now, with all due respect, Mark Halperin. Mark has a question. Mark.
Senator, I talked to a lot of your supporters yesterday at the event you did in Town Hall, and many of them expressed frustration that you weren't getting covered enough, that you were having trouble getting your message out. I'm wondering if in the few days now between Iowa and then New Hampshire, if you've got plans to try to ramp up your capacity to reach voters so they can learn about you and your ideas and your background.
Well, in the next month, Mark, obviously we're going to be focusing a lot on Iowa and New Hampshire. We have in Iowa, if my memory is correct, actually held meetings where over 30,000 people have come out. A lot of large turnouts. New Hampshire, I think we're at about 25,000. What I have always done in my life is do grassroots politics. And I think at the end of the day, just going out, answering questions, talking to people is the way you can win in states like Iowa and New Hampshire. And that's where we're going to be focusing in the next month or so.
You are tireless, and I'm impressed. Jane, it was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
I love Vermont.
Thank you
by
so
the way.
much.
Senator Bernie Sanders, Jane Sanders, thank you very much. Please come back.
Thank you, guys, and good luck out there.
Definitely have been underestimated. Still to come.